What up? What up? What up? This Ibn Webb, Quran the Sun, official things thing going down here. Essex County all day edition. Got John Robinson, those in the know from the Orange area, know him as J Rob here. I just remember being a young boy, watching him, get to it as far as, playing what have you there. Obviously playing hoops or what have you has led to probably other, situations for him, to advance in life and just set him up nicely or what have you here. Just looking forward to get to know him a little bit more again versus my young boy fandom. I try to maintain here, but like I said, it's just great that he's willing to jump on when asked. So looking forward to talking to him. Hold tight. Peace, J Rob. How you, man?
What's going on? What's going on, fam?
Nah, ain't nothing, man. Nah, thank you so much, man. I know we've been playing a little tag and this and that, man. So I appreciate you willing to jump on here.
Yo, absolutely, man. Absolutely. No problem. I appreciate you calling me to get me on this joint.
Yeah, nah. I wouldn't have it no other way, man. You still look good, like you can still run up and down a little bit.
Yeah, I wish, man. My knees is kind of bad right now. So, you know, I gave it up probably about maybe 2 years when the COVID hit, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Like I say, you look good, man. Hopefully your family, everybody's speaking of that, maintaining healthy and everything else, man. I know it's crazy out here.
yeah, absolutely. Everybody's doing good, man. And like you said, God bless us that, nobody from my family, got sick or, went in the hospital and been in the hospital. So everything is good right now.
Nah, definitely, man. That's peace, man. That's real good. That's real good to hear. Yeah, like I know you don't saw a couple of these, man, but this one here, they all special to me, man. And again, obviously us meeting just face to face, kind of for the first time. I was just a young boy, running around watching you guys play and just do your thing. So, like I said, this wish list of mine, I think, is never ending. So, like I said, for me to just to get you up on here, like I said, couldn't have it any other way right about now.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, and then with the whole Orange thing, did your journey start in Orange, or you just eventually ended up?
Nah, it's crazy because I was born in Newark, but from 5th grade on, I lived in East Orange.
Okay.
So I moved from Newark, lived in East Orange, but I went to from 5th grade, 6th grade, and 7th grade. I went to middle school and grammar school in Montclair.
Wait, hold up. So you live in East Orange, grammar school, Montclair. Okay. A lot of address, a lot of like side conversations.
Yeah. It's crazy because my little sister's grandmother lived in Montclair.
Okay.
So my mom made sure my little sister went to school in Montclair. So she decided, to put me in, elementary school there. So, I got to use I call her my grandmother. She, I've known her since I was 8, 9 years old, before my little sister was born. So got to use her address, went to elementary school there.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm living in East Orange on William Street. So my mom, drops us off every morning to my grandmom's, and then we go to school from there. So after I left 7th grade, I transferred to Orange Middle.
Okay.
So I went to Orange Middle. Now we moved from East Orange to Orange. I moved to Center Street in Orange.
Okay.
So I went to Orange Middle 8th grade. From there, this is crazy again. I go back to Montclair for my freshman year.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So my freshman year, I go back to Montclair. My aunt and my cousin, they lived in Montclair. So that was the reason my mom wanted me to go to Montclair, because my older cousin was there. So now I go there. And basically from there, after my freshman year, my mom transfers me to Orange High.
Okay.
So I'm there 10th grade, 11th, 12th. My 10th grade year, the Board of Education said I was like a half a credit short of playing sports. So I didn't even get to play my sophomore year.
Because of
at all.
credits?
Yeah, half a credit short, whatever that means. Like, I didn't understand it at all, but I was able to try out and practice and make the team, but I just couldn't play because of, the credits or whatever.
Okay.
So my whole sophomore year, I couldn't play, but I was at all the games, watching all the games and stuff. And then, it was history from there on.
Yeah, yeah. And even to go back as you in Middle Orange, East Orange, Montclair and all that, like as far as you mentioned playing ball, but your typical childhood, I mean, I know you was moving a little bit here, but I mean, you just took it as business as normal, usual, excuse me, and just lived.
Yeah, that's all I could do, and basketball wasn't even my first love, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I grew up playing baseball.
Oh.
So I played baseball up until maybe 13.
Mm-hmm.
And then because my older cousin, he played basketball, he's the one that got me into playing basketball.
Okay.
And I guess from 14 on is really when I started to take it serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so playing even baseball, so just around the way for the most part, did you play any
Well,
little
I
leagues?
played, there was park leagues back in the day. There was park leagues. So I played, we lived on Park Place. So Sabo was right down the block from us, Sabo Park.
Mm-hmm.
So I played for they had a team, and I played for their team for a couple years. And then after that, that's when I started to find interest in basketball. So then I moved away from the baseball thing.
Mm-hmm. Did you play any leagues growing up with basketball? Or you just waited till you got to high school, so you played
Yeah,
organized?
no, I didn't. We used to go to Sabo and play at Sabo all the time on the B court, because
I know
the
exactly what
old
you're
head,
talking about.
yeah, the B court was the joint close to the pool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like when you first come in Sabo, that was the A court.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're playing on the B court, watching the old heads play or whatever. But there wasn't, I don't think any leagues back then that I played in. It was just going around the different parks and stuff like that, going to Elmwood, going
Mm-hmm.
to Central, playing at Savo. So we used to just park hop.
Yeah, yeah. Like a
You
lot
know
of
what
it.
I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. That freshman year in Montclair, did you play basketball, baseball, anything? Did you give anything
Yeah,
a shot that first year?
I played freshman basketball.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I started as a forward,
Mm-hmm.
because I could jump.
Yes.
So it was two other guys that played point and two. They had me as a forward because I can jump. I was skinny, I was lanky, you know what I mean? So I played the three. And my freshman year was the first time I ever dunked the ball.
Okay.
I dunked
In a game practice or?
No, it was practice.
Okay.
Because a couple of my teammates, always asked me, they was like, yo, you think you can dunk? You think you can dunk? And I was like, nah, I don't think so. So they was like, yo, you should try, you should try. So we're in practice, messing around. I get the ball and I go up to dunk and I dunked it.
Mm-hmm.
And it surprised me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. So they was like, yo, do it again, do it again. And I was like, nah. I said, I already dunked it. I said, I dunked it the first time. I said, I'm good. Nah, I ain't doing it again. Cause I didn't want to miss.
Yeah.
Cause I was so high on doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Once I did it, that was good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
So so freshman year I played at Montclair. And there was a couple of guys that played football for them that was also on the basketball team.
Okay.
So my cousin my cousin knew those guys from, just from going to school, elementary school there and stuff like that. So I got to be cool with a couple of the football players that also played basketball and stuff like that. So that also kept me enticed in playing basketball too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's when the journey started, man.
Nah. And it's interesting being in Montclair. Montclair is like huge as far as numbers. Then you go over to Orange. Though I know you had that little gap year kind of thing, sophomore year, just how was it just even switching up schools, just life and everything, man? You growing up, there's a lot of stuff going on outside of even basketball too.
Yeah, I mean, it was always cool because I was always in the area.
Okay.
Even though, going to school in Montclair, like I said, I lived on William Street, right down the street from East Orange High.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we moved to Orange, which was Center Street, and then we moved to Park Place, across town from Center Street.
Yeah.
But I always had the friends in Orange,
Okay.
going through playing basketball and, just hanging out and doing stuff like that. So it really wasn't a major change because I was always in Orange and I always had friends there and I had family there.
Okay.
The change was just going from Montclair High School, coming to Orange Middle and Orange High. You know what I mean? But again, I already had friends that were already in school. So, it was a cool adjustment.
Yeah, it seemed like pretty seamless for the most part.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it was fun, man. But I will say, as far as the athletics and basketball and stuff, I was like the new guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like the new guy to everybody because, they like a lot of people didn't know me. It was just a certain clique of guys that played ball together. Everybody else, looked at me as, oh, who is this guy? Where he from and all this stuff. But the whole time, I'm from Orange, East Orange area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, folks probably worry about their spot too. That's some other stuff too.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. But you get back. I mean, obviously, Orange is having a rich tradition, just high school wise in basketball. So that junior year, what was it like? You ready to go? Sat that sophomore year. So I'm
Oh,
sure you was
man.
like you were burning to play, man.
My feet was on fire.
Yeah.
To play. Just like you said, just watching that whole sophomore year and, watching them guys play and me knowing that I should have been out there, I couldn't wait for my junior year. And once that came, I was, as far as I'm concerned, I was a guard. I'm a guard by heart. But with the guys that we had that was, seniors and stuff like that, I understood it. And, I knew all the X and O's about it and, everything like that. So it wasn't a problem with me, again, because, I knew everybody on the squad already and they knew me. So it wasn't like I was playing to like get position or, to start and things like that.
Okay.
Because we was all cool and we basically wanted the same goal. You know what I mean? We trying to win the state championship.
Yeah.
So it was an easy transition, playing that first year. And I just had to see where Thompson wanted me to fit in it. Once I understood that, it was love.
How'd you play that junior year?
I was the first one off the bench. Thompson put me at power forward. He had me at power forward. I was probably 6 feet, 6'1", probably weighing like 165, 170. But again, I could jump.
Yeah.
I could jump. So, and the teams we played from our conference pretty much, were Caucasian teams and stuff like that.
Right. It's like the Wayne Valleys and all those guys.
Yeah. Teams. Yep. So a lot of those teams, played us zone a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, which made it easier for us, well, for me offensively, because the offense we ran against zone, I was able to start down low and come out toward the baseline or the wing to get the ball. So once I got the ball there, now my guard intuition starts to kick in, and now I can do whatever I needed to do. You know what I mean? So I think Thompson used me pretty well. And then also when our guards would get in trouble, he would just move me from the 4 up to the guard position.
Okay.
Because you know what I mean? Because he knew I still had the guard skills and stuff like that. So for me, it was better because I could play multiple positions depending on how the game went, you know, who was in foul trouble, who wasn't, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, he gave me a lot of leeway when he put me in for my junior year, which was surprising to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because again, he's seeing me as an outsider also. Because
Yeah.
I don't think,
good point.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think before that he even really heard of me, because I only played that freshman year in Montclair, which, you know, they really don't look at that.
Right.
If you're
right.
if you're not somebody that they're projecting to start varsity as a freshman, you know, they don't really look at that. You know, freshman is just freshman.
Mm-hmm.
And being that I was at another school, you know, he looked at me probably as an outsider also.
Yeah.
So he was just getting to know me as much as I was getting to know him.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess he saw something in practice and things like that, that he was like, okay, I can trust this guy, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's what it sounded like. How'd y'all team wise? If you remember your junior year, how did y'all wind up doing as far as overall?
Yeah, we finished 19-6.
Okay.
We lost to Asbury in the state finals.
Okay.
Yeah, they beat us. I think they beat us by 3. So we won our sectional, but we didn't win the whole state final, you know. So we wound up 19-6. Yeah, I'll never forget that. I remember all of that year.
How'd y'all do in the counties your junior year?
We lost to East Orange in, I want to say, the finals.
Okay.
I think they had Earl Flanagan.
Earl,
yeah. I think we lost to them either in the finals or the semifinals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that said, I mean, it sounds like, you know, obviously Coach Thompson had some trust with you as far as that junior year. So that summer, what you doing? I mean, you getting right? You playing this bounce around playground, summer league, AAU? What we doing?
Yeah,
What's your thought process?
We bounced around different parks and stuff like we usually did.
Mm-hmm.
And that year, Hatari happened to get me, Mike, and Al into AAU.
Okay.
I want to say it was the Road Runners.
Okay.
And we had practice and stuff down in Newark. I forget the gym down in Newark, but we had practice down there several times. We also, with that team, we played, I think we went to the Boston Shootout. If I can remember correct, it was a tournament up there in the Boston Shootout. I'm not sure how we did. That was so long ago, man.
Yeah. But you was working on your game because you saw
yeah,
something.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like we was playing every chance we got. Even guys that had just graduated, like Ralph Lovett, who was in the area. In the summer, he would be home in the summer. He's playing with us. So we're going everywhere we can to play. So I'm working on my game because now I realize that I'm gonna be a guard now. I'm gonna be put at my natural position to guard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I know Mike is gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's me, Mike, and Al was like the cornerstone for the squad. And then we had other guys, Gregory Shelton,
Jay Hurt too, right?
Yeah. Jay Hurt, Bedell Charles, Nick Powell, Davion Jackson. we already knew how it was gonna play out for us.
Mhm.
So, we wanted to play as much as we can, everywhere we can, and we always played together wherever we went.
Did you have a summer league team that year in like Elmwood or anything?
Yeah, if I'm correct, they had the college summer league,
Okay.
and then they also had the pro-am.
Right.
And so the
Yeah.
college teams would play before the
Mhm.
pro-am teams.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we had that at Elmwood, and they
Mhm.
had it that first year, and then after that, I think they got rid of it,
Okay.
and it was just strictly the pro-am. And so by watching the pro-am, I couldn't wait to play in that because you had
Yeah.
pros coming through, you had guys from overseas playing, you had
Mhm.
guys that was in college playing. So it was just like, man, I can't wait to get there. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that would really tell me, how I'm going to be in the future as far as playing against certain guys and things of that nature.
Oh no, definitely, definitely. Then you guys, did you know that senior year? Y'all knew it was gonna be a magical run that y'all had. Did you have a sense of that?
Yeah, because again, all of us knew each other. All of us, it wasn't no discrepancy of who was this person, who was that person, what role is this person doing. Like we all knew,
Hmm.
it was just like camaraderie all the way around,
Yeah.
and we all liked each other.
Hmm.
Like we hung
Oh,
out off the court,
oh,
we
that
hung
helps
out
big
together.
time. Yeah. Yeah. That
Like,
camaraderie. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like everybody, all of us knew each other's parents and aunts and cousins and brothers and all of that. So we had the camaraderie from the gate, and our aim was just win a state championship,
Okay. Oh,
ECT championship and state championship.
yeah.
That's all we wanted to do. We never thought about a record, what our record was going to be, or none of that. But those are the two goals we set for our season was ECT championship and state championship.
It wasn't.
Because
It wasn't another one in there. I would think probably beating Scott twice would be part of that
well,
too.
that wasn't. I mean, that's always there. Anybody we play against, we want to beat.
Yeah.
But it was like if we get to the ECT, we win that because the year before we lost.
Yeah.
So we wanted that bad. And that year we lost to Asbury in the state finals. So we wanted that bad. Anything else, we already wasn't even thinking about that. Like, yeah, we'll take care of that stuff. But those are the two main pressure points that we wanted to hit.
Now you get to that year, so that county from Shabazz, you got a gentleman, man, Alray Blackman, man, he kind of put on the show a little bit, broke my heart here.
He I wouldn't say it was a show.
Mm.
And the only reason I say that is because that year, Al Grant got chicken pox
Okay.
the night before the game.
Like before the finals, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because we all that night we all agreed that we were gonna go to Thompson's house. Everybody was gonna be in the crib, chilling, getting ready for the game, not hanging out, not whatever. So we all went over there. Thompson made his wife had dinner for us and everything. So we ate, we chilling, and the next morning, Al had the chicken pox. So come to find out, I think Mr. Thompson's son may have had it.
Okay.
So that was the first time Al had it, because I had it when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So Al gets the chicken pox. We not sure if he's gonna play or not, because he was terrible. Like he could hardly walk. He was out of breath, just standing around. Like it was crazy, and I ain't never seen nothing like that. So, he's saying he's gonna try to play, and I'm like, man, I was like, this ain't looking good. Like
Okay.
now all the concerns go from the game to Al. Like everybody's concerned about Al now. We're not even really focusing on the game 100%. because we worried about him and you know, is he going to be okay? You know, is he going to try to play? Should he not play? Like now, all that stuff is going through our heads and things like that. Short stories, he tried to play.
Okay.
He played as much as he could, but it wasn't the same Al. Like I'm not even sure if he even got double-digit points that game. I'm not even sure if he got, you know, what he normally gets for his rebounds and things of that nature. Like, so we were, at that time, we were shorthanded without him because he's a major threat. So, you know, me and Mike did everything we could. And they only beat us by 3.
Yeah. That's
only
without
beat us
Al,
by
yeah.
3.
Without him full strength.
Yeah, and they were at full strength. And don't get me wrong, I ain't taking nothing from Al random dudes. They can play. You know what I mean? But if I think if Al was healthy, it would have been a different outcome. I definitely think it would have been a different outcome.
Yeah.
But
how was it just playing down there though? How was it for you just being you down there, like the crowd, everything? I mean, how exciting was that for you?
It wasn't nothing different than what I was used to.
Okay.
You know, playing in Orange, playing at Scott. You know, it wasn't nothing different.
Okay.
And for us, we rather play on the road where the crowd is getting at us. So now we can really dial in.
Yeah.
And now we trying to shut them up from the door. So it was love. It, you know, it wasn't nothing different. Nobody was scared, none of that. Again, we knew these guys already. Like it wasn't just this first game. Now we knew who we was going up against. You know, we knew them guys going down playing in Newark, you know, and them playing in East Orange and around in different parks and stuff. So we knew them. So it was just a regular game to us.
Yeah, it seemed like you guys just locked right back in because y'all had the states coming up next, and y'all just ran through it.
Oh yeah, that loss to Shabazz. Yeah, everybody we played after that, they was definitely in trouble. They was definitely in trouble.
Yeah. So y'all go on this time. Y'all obviously sectionals, knock it out. Then you actually win your group. It was group 2, I think, or something like that, right?
Yep.
Who'd y'all beat in the States?
We played Del Rand.
Okay.
Which now I'm 10, 15 minutes from Del Rand.
Oh.
So yeah, after we beat them, we moved down to Willingboro in 88, the summer of 88, we moved down to Willingboro, and I never knew where Del Rand was.
Okay.
So I moved down here, and you know, I started meeting guys that play ball and stuff from around the area, from Camden and everywhere. They telling me, oh yeah, Del Rand is 10 minutes from here. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's funny because the summer leagues down here, they were in Burlington City. So at that time, Burlington City, I think they lost to Del Rand in the semifinals.
Okay.
So a lot of the guys that I met down here and played ball with, they were saying that if they would have beat Del Rand, they would have came up against us for the championship.
Oh,
which
so
is funny because,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was like, wow, that's weird. And but you know, y'all wouldn't have did nothing with us. Y'all definitely wouldn't have did nothing with us. So, you know, we to this day we still go back and forth about that stuff, you know, just shooting the breeze and things of that nature, man.
Nah, definitely. So y'all that last year is just y'all only just had that one L. That was it, right?
That was it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Y'all ended up ranked where in the state? You remember at the final ranking? It was obviously had to be top 10, definitely.
You know what? Give me a second. I got my year.
Oh, you gonna dig in the crate?
I got my yearbook right here. I can tell you that.
Okay. Yeah.
As you can see, there you go.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, you could have sat down, man. I didn't know he's gonna get up and have me looking at a Jet logo.
Oh, I'm a Jets fan, brother. I'm a Jets fan. All right, so let's see. Where did we rank? All right. Second on. Hmm.
Yeah, but it definitely had. I'm sure it had to be top 10.
Okay, and the ECT we was ranked number 1.
Okay.
Shabazz was 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we were ranked 8 in the
8
state.
final.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we were 28-1 before the state start. I think before the state started, or at the time we were ranked 8th.
And who was number 1 that year?
Yep.
And who was number 1 that year?
It doesn't say who was number 1.
Yeah, that's just me being curious. But like you said, top 10, 1 loss. I mean, so obviously things is good, feeling good, everything else. I mean, and seeing it. So you gotta start making some decisions though about life and moving on. Like the whole basketball recruiting. How did that come about? I mean, as far as what was your
Yeah,
thoughts?
that was I knew, that I was definitely trying to play Division I basketball. After the 2 years we had in high school, there was no question. After, playing against so many different guys, growing up
Yeah.
and knowing that, they were able to go to Division I schools and things like that. And me being able to play with these same guys,
Mm-hmm.
I felt that it was no question that I should be going Division I. Like, I wasn't even thinking of Division III, Division II, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
None of that was in my head at the time. And me, Al, Mike, Bedell, and even Greg Shelton, like, we all thought, all right, Division I, let's go to school, let's try to play or whatever. Me, Al, and Mike basically wanted to all play together in college also. Even though Mike was a year behind us,
Okay.
we all, talked about all going somewhere and playing together.
Mm-hmm.
So, after our senior year, we got recruited. Me and Al got recruited by Old Dominion down in Norfolk, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So we planned on going there. At the time, we needed to take our SATs and things of that nature. So once we got the score from my SATs, we'd be able to move on. At the time, I think both of us were short. I think it was 700 you needed to
That's
get.
that magic number. Yeah, 700. Yes.
Yeah, I think it was 7. So we were short by maybe like 25 or 50 points, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So once we got our scores back, then junior colleges started contacting us.
Okay.
So that whole summer, we just thinking, do we want to go to junior college route, or do we want to just sit out for a year, or retake the test and try to wait a year and go to Division I 4-year university?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, and it came down to I want to say the beginning of August. I was just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna just go to junior college because I want to play. I don't want to sit out, and then you never know what might happen, in that year span.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm going. And so Al, he did the same thing. And we decided to go up to Vermont.
Okay.
We went to Champlain Junior College up in Vermont, Burlington, Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
So we stayed up there for 2 years. We found out that there was also a couple guys from the area, from Newark, and East Orange that were there the year before.
Okay.
So once we found that out, because the coach recruited from New Jersey a lot. So he got, a lot of guys
Smart
that
man.
was, Irvington, East Orange, Newark. So he kept guys coming from Jersey. And it so happened that we knew a lot of these guys that, from the summer leagues and all that from the area. So we were comfortable. We were like, oh, okay. They up there? Oh yeah, we're going. So we decided to go. And we were up there for 2 years, from 88 to 90. And that was a great experience.
I was gonna ask you how that's being in Vermont and in Orange. I mean, only thing probably Burlington, Vermont's probably Ben and Jerry factory or something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it was, socially wise, it's totally different because, it's way up there. It's nothing but Caucasians and people like that. So it was cool because, again, it was a lot of guys from the neighborhood. So we felt kind of at home amongst ourselves. And then because guys were there a year before us, they kind of knew the ins and outs of the cities. And, they knew people that would come to the games, and, they knew certain guys from other teams, baseball teams, field hockey, it was crazy. So we kind of really eased in. It wasn't like we were shell shocked.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So once we got the ins and out of how everything was flowing up there, it was just like we were back home. It was just like we were back home. And the fans, like the people, Vermont is not that big as far as Burlington, the city. Vermont's not that big anyway, but the city of Burlington, they love basketball. They love the baseball. So it was just like all our games were packed. Like
really? Okay.
Every game. And now the year before me and Al got there, those guys, they lost the championship game to go to the Nationals, the JUCO Nationals out in Kansas. Their record that year was, I want to say 33-3, something like that. So now, and our last year we were 30-1.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they 33-3. All right, we got to go up here. We got to do better than them. And it was crazy because my parents and my family were like, how y'all gonna do better than that? Like, those guys is in college and they know, I said, trust me. I said, with the squad that we were gonna have that my freshman year, I was like, we might do a little bit better than them. And our aim was to make it to the Nationals. So if we at least make it to the Nationals, that's one up on the team before us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the pressure we put on ourselves or whatever. That year we lost in the championship to go to the Nationals. I want to say we lost to Herkimer, who was from upstate New York. Herkimer Junior College. And I think we lost to them. That year, I want to say we only lost 2 games that year. My freshman year at junior college. I want to say we lost 2 that year.
Yeah, how was the level of competition up there?
It was pretty good. Because a lot of the teams that we played schools from Maryland.
Okay.
There's definitely schools from Vermont we played. We played schools from New York, upstate New York, a lot of teams from upstate New York. We played teams from Connecticut. So the competition was good. And, it was, again, more teams were pretty predominantly Black than just, playing against all white teams.
Okay.
So the competition was definitely good. And, but again, it compared nothing to the Pro-Am League. So we were already equipped though to deal with, whatever. And being that we played in the Pro-Am League, we played against pros. We played it, so we're looking at it as guys playing on our level are really not to us. Whether they played in Pro-Am leagues or not, that didn't matter. We just knew that we did it. We had the experience, So it was just like business as usual.
That's right. That's right.
It was like business as usual.
And how was that final year at JUCO? I know you guys just missed the Nationals your freshman year, but that second year, how was it for you?
Yeah, that second year, again, like I said, I think we might have lost 2 games. I want to say 1 game, 1 or 2 games that year, and we made it to the Nationals.
You made it there, okay.
Yeah, we made it to the Nationals. We wound up number 3. We wound up number 3 in the nation.
Okay.
The team we lost to was a team out of Georgia. They had a bunch of guys that you knew they were gonna play overseas or make it to the pros. One guy, Elmore Spencer.
Elmore Spencer, yeah, Louisville or something.
He left. He went to UNLV.
UNLV, my bad.
Yeah,
okay.
He went to UNLV. And then they had a couple guys that went to the University of Georgia also. And that's who we lost to in the semifinals. But they had a pro squad. Like their lineup was like 6'4", 6'5", 6'7", 6'8", and 7 foot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a pro lineup. Our lineup, we had 6'2", 6'2", Al was 6'4", 6'6", and then 7 foot.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, but I think they might have beat us by like 10 or 12, but we were in the game the whole time. And they just, they just overcame, our pressure and all that stuff. And they used their size and things like that. And they beat us, but it was the semifinals. So then we had to play the team that lost before us to find out who was going to end up number 3, because, whoever wins the championship, the loser is number 2. So now you got the 3rd team and the 4th team, they have to play to find out who wins or who's going to be number 3 in the nation.
Kind of like consolation kind of thing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny. That was Latrell Sprewell's team.
Okay.
He played on that team, and I think that team was. I want to say that team was out of Iowa for some reason. So we beat them. We wound up number 3. I made all-tourney team. Lynn Smith from Barringer, Red. His nickname is Red. He was the point guard. I was the 2. I think he made all JUCO. I think Al made first team. I think Al made first team all tourney.
Okay.
So we got a couple accolades off of that or whatever. So, but it was that tournament was that thing was like
sound like it was real, yeah.
That was more of a pro-am setting than playing in college or any tournaments in college, because I mean you had jokers from all over the country.
Okay.
Teams from California, teams from Texas, teams from everywhere. Midwest, East Coast. So, and it's 16 teams. So from the 16, man, it was squads out there, yo.
Yeah, nothing to sleep on as far as nothing to sleep on. It sound like, and it
Nothing
sound
at
like
all.
with everything going on, I mean, obviously hitting JUCO, seeing your recruitment, that opens back up. I mean, I know you end up at Old Dominion, but like, was that ever a consideration to go somewhere else? Because that opens back up.
Man, it after that, um, I had letters from Pitt, University of Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
I had letters from Villanova.
Mm-hmm.
I had letters from St. John's.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had letters from University of Delaware, Dell State,
Mm-hmm.
University of Maryland, um, a couple of schools down in Florida, down in Miami. Like it started getting crazy because I was like, oh man, I'm like, these schools really looking at me like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Old Dominion was always there. They was there from high school through junior college.
Mm-hmm.
So they were always there. So Rutgers, matter of fact, Rutgers.
Okay.
But I knew I couldn't go to stay at Rutgers because then everybody from the hood would be up there, and like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting nothing done. Like everybody's up there,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I wanted to make sure that I got away from, home as much as I could, but still be close. You know
Okay.
what I mean? So, but yeah, I really wanted to go to Villanova, and um, it came down to them and Old Dominion. Um, so happened I had to get my counselor to send my transcript and everything to admissions to get accepted to Villanova.
Mm-hmm.
She happens to send it 2 days too late because they stopped taking enrollment at a certain time.
Okay.
So I find out that the letter got there late. They had closed enrollment. I couldn't go there. I was pissed off because I definitely wanted to go there because growing up, Villanova was my squad.
Okay.
Like in 85 when they beat Georgetown,
Mm-hmm.
that was my squad.
Yeah.
So Raleigh Massimino, like that was it. I had the Villanova starter jacket, everything. So I was pissed. I couldn't do that. So then I was like, okay. And me and Al, we still talking about stuff because again, we went to JUCO together.
Mm-hmm.
So we both had Old Dominion still wanting us and everything. So we were like, all right, let's go down to Norfolk or whatever. We decided to make that move, went down there. And at the time, Tom Young was our coach. He used to coach Rutgers back in the day.
Okay.
So he was at Old Dominion. He was there a couple years before we got there. So me and Al, we get there and everything. And again, it was love because they had Chris Gatlin, who graduated from Elizabeth,
Yeah.
which we knew him.
Mm-hmm.
So they made sure when we went down on our recruitment trip that he got us, took us around,
Mm-hmm.
took us to parties and showed us this and showed us that. So we like, okay. So then we decided to go down there. He's there, and we both started our junior year down there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
how was that jump as far as playing wise?
I mean, in the beginning, you just had to get used to, I would say, I wouldn't say the talent, because
Mm-hmm.
again, we played against a whole bunch of different talent growing up. So it wasn't so much the talent. I think you just had to get used to how Division I basketball was played.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You had to get used to how coaches manage the game. Like it's a little bit more serious because, you got more coaching staff there, certain coaches do certain things and stuff like that. So you just had to get acclimated to how a Division I team runs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, but after a month and a half, you get used to what's going on now. So you're more aware. So now it's more of now letting your athletic ability and your game show, and you're not thinking as much. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got the coaches, you got the coaches to do all the thinking, and now all you have to do is play. But initially, you're doing more thinking because you're trying to get acclimated on how a real Division I team is ran. You know what I mean? So after that grace period, it was just ball. It was just playing ball.
Well, let me ask real quick before anything else about ball. You make a transition from Vermont to Norfolk, Virginia. How do you adapt to off the court? You got colleges all over the place. You got Virginia Beach. You got the girls. I mean, you could lose your mind pretty much being down there. It's like how'd you just focus and just stay the course?
It was like home.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna give you a little nugget. Like growing up in high school, when we moved to Park Place, we moved in a little in a little community joint. We call it the mini projects. And I had one apartment, me, my sisters, and my uncle.
Okay.
Downstairs were my uncle's family, my little cousins. Right next door to them was my mom and dad.
Okay.
Right under them was my aunt and uncle and my other cousin. So basically, growing up, I had basically my own apartment.
Okay.
I'm sharing that with my sisters and my uncle. Now, my uncle at the time, was a senior at Orange. My one sister, she was a junior at Orange.
Okay.
I'm a sophomore at Orange. And then I had my baby sister who was, in elementary school or what have you. But she would basically stay with my mom and dad in the apartment next to us. So growing up, I had the freedom to go and come and, guys from high school and from the area, they come in to chill at my crib. My crib was like the hangout spot.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I mean? So that taught me how to kind of live on my own, to say.
See what you're saying, yeah.
So when I moved to college, it's just like me being home. I'm already adapted to living by myself, to speak.
Right.
You know what I mean? So going to college was nothing.
Okay.
It was just like, again, I was back home. Once I got to JUCO, we lived in they had these big brownstone houses, but you had the RA or whatever for each floor. But they basically didn't come out unless there was a problem. So you lived in a house with a whole bunch of students. It was just,
okay.
No adults, really, no adult supervision, but nobody did nothing crazy. You just got the freedom of being able to live on your own.
Right.
Do that. So like I said, the whole transition through college was just like me growing up.
Got you. Yeah.
So it was no major issues.
How much did you enjoy playing at ODU as far as just level of competition and just playing ball, scholarship, everything? I mean, how much joy did you have just playing?
I enjoyed college ball, I think more than I did high school.
Okay.
And that's because I want to say that I always was around people that I knew and grew up with. So that made it easier. And with college and high school, the difference is you're getting treated more like an adult through college than in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, high school, you're more under the supervision of the coach. Like Thompson always kept tabs on us and stuff. He always wanted to know, what we were doing,
Mm-hmm.
where we was hanging out, where we was playing ball and stuff like that, which wasn't a bad thing.
Right.
I think at that age, that's a good thing, because now you get a feeling of, okay, yeah, my coach really is concerned and want, your well-being, personally, on top of your well-being in basketball.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was a good thing then. But as you grow older and you get to learn and know the game more, you don't need as much of that supervision, because your knowledge is evolving as you get
Right.
older.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So, but as far as playing ball in college, I enjoyed it because, one, I got to play against guys from different areas of the country,
Mm-hmm.
and different levels, skill levels, and things of that nature. So it was always good, and I never felt. And I could probably say this about Al, Mike, and all the guys on our team in high school. We never felt that there was somebody that was better than us.
Mm-hmm.
So it always brought out the competition in us, and we would always fall on each other to get that person hyped to play, and especially when guys have bigger names than we had,
Mm-hmm.
that even fueled the fire even more. You know what I'm saying? So in college, again, like I said, I was with Al through junior college and Old Dominion.
Yes.
We tried to get Mike. Mike would have came to Champlain in junior college too, but he was like, nah, I don't want to do that, because after y'all graduate, I'm gonna be there by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So we understood that. We were
Mm-hmm.
like, damn, but if we had you that 1 year, we'd have been even better than we
Yeah.
were. And we were good. We were good my senior year. So I can't fault him that, he would have felt like we left him.
Okay. Now I see what you're saying.
So and then we were even talking to him about even trying to get the Old Dominion,
Mm.
because he after high school, he went to Oak Hill
Mm-hmm.
for that 1 year.
Right.
So after that 1 year, he left Oak Hill. We were going to try to get him to come to Old Dominion and be there with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was crazy, like, and it was serious. It was serious. And then our coach, Tom Young, he got fired, and then we got Oliver Purnell, who was at Clemson, I think, a couple years before he came to Old Dominion. But he's from Norfolk area. He grew, and I think he played at Old Dominion too.
Okay.
Oliver Purnell. So he decided to come back, and he coached us for our senior year. And we talked to Mike about coming. So he was thinking about it, but then he decided to go to West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And that was crazy, because we had them on our schedule.
About to ask about playing them. Yeah.
We had them on our schedule for I think we played them 2 times
Mm-hmm.
that year. They came to our place and we went down to their place. And that was crazy. That was crazy. It was nuts, because we was giving up the secrets to each other about how our team was gonna play,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
what they was looking at. So it was nuts. And during the game, like he get fouled, he go to the foul line, he makes his free throw. I give him that. from off the foul line, and my coaches was
Yeah,
looking like,
yeah.
what is going on? I was like, Coach, that's my man. I played high school ball with him. I said, so he do something good, I'm gonna let him know. So my
Yeah.
coach was like, oh, okay, all right. You know what I mean? But it was great.
Yeah.
And we would do that, both of us. Like, I make my joints, he'd give me that. And I'm like, yeah, that's how we do. Cause that's, shit, we was raised up together.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, I
We
hear you.
straight family.
Mm-hmm. Did you have obviously from high school to college, you had those aspirations for D1. Was anything of playing professionally was sinking in, or you
Yeah,
starting to think about those moves?
yeah, I definitely wanted to play professionally. And again, playing against guys that already played professionally,
Mm-hmm.
overseas, that were in the league, through the pro-am. I'm like, I know I can make somebody's squad,
Yeah.
and playing in the pro-am when you got guys that didn't know you, but they play against you, and then after the game or during the game, they asking you, oh, where you play at, where you playing at, professionally, and you're like, I'm not, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just playing in the pro-am. And guys questioning, well, you trying to get overseas and stuff like that. Like me and Mike and Al heard that a lot,
Okay.
growing up playing in pro-ams and stuff. Guys, asking us, are we looking to play professional overseas and things of that nature? So that was always in my head. I went to a bunch of overseas camps.
Did okay.
Yeah, they had a bunch of overseas camps that I went to. And it was like the guys that's running the camps, in which I found out after the fact that, they basically have these camps, and they basically got guys that they already know that they're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is just to fill the camp up so they have good competition.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, and I found that out through Eddie Butler.
Mm-hmm.
He did a lot for guys, getting them in camps and stuff like that, even in high school with 5-star and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when he found out about the different camps, he would get us into the different camps. So eventually, like I said, I found out how they were running the camps and things of that nature, which kind of at that point I was like, man, this is just a waste of my time.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I started looking at it. Like, I'm just going just to be going, not going to have somebody see me and think they can, place me somewhere.
Right.
So that started getting discouraging. But I was like, you know what? I still got to go. I still want to play. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. So eventually I got seen from playing in a semi-pro in Trenton.
Okay.
They had a semi-pro team in Trenton. So I played there a couple years after college. And I played there with guys, Steve Worthy that went to Rutgers,
Mm-hmm.
Mike Jones that went to Rutgers. They were from the Trenton area. Terrence Bailey that went to Wagner from the Trenton area.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of guys from up in Trenton, and me and one other guy from Willingboro made that team, the semi-pro team. And I played for that team for about 5 years. So I would say from 21 to about 26,
Mm-hmm.
I played on the semi-pro team up there.
Okay.
And that's when the owner of that team knew he was the ex-national team's coach from Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to coach a team over in Venezuela. So the owner talked to him, about just taking a look at me. He, basically explained to him, he was like, I think if you see this guy, you'll like him. He plays hard. He's no trouble on the court. He's no trouble off the court. Like, this is the type of player that, you could probably use and he could help you. So the guy, told him, he was like, all right, I'll give it a shot or whatever. Now, over there, you're only allowed 3 Americans.
Oh.
On the team.
Okay.
So everybody else is made up from that country or, a different country or whatever, but only 3 Americans are allowed. So I fly to Venezuela. I'm down there from, I want to say the end of November to about, I came back in the end of February.
Mm-hmm.
So I think their league starts, it's either in March or April.
Okay.
And it runs, if it's March, it runs April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months. 6 months at a time. So the couple months I was there was basically, just the tryouts or whatever, and I guess them trying to get the team together. So I was there. The other American was from Georgia. He was a point guard. They moved me from the 2 to the point, and then they had a guy. I forget where he was from. I want to say the Midwest,
mm-hmm.
but he was over in Russia. He was over in Russia at the time.
Okay.
So, during the beginning of the tryouts and stuff like that, he wasn't there. He came later. So I'm there, I'm getting used to that whole situation because there was only a few guys that could speak English that was from
mm-hmm.
on the team from the years prior.
Okay.
But they were asked to come and still, participate in the tryouts and stuff like that. So there was only a few dudes that knew English. So, the couple guys made sure that they stayed around us and, they kind of translated, the Spanish and the English and stuff like that, vice versa. The coach knew English. He was from Puerto Rico, but he knew English. So, that started to get a little easier. Over there, the country is real poor over there. It's like a third world country. Like it was bad over there.
Yeah.
It was real bad.
How'd that impact you though? As far as just the country dynamics and politics and all the stuff.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Like I was like nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like you never knew what was coming next as far as day to day, like what was going on. So we had practice in the mornings and in the afternoon. So we go to practice in the mornings, we come back to our room, we go, they had like a little, I want to say like a little strip mall area
mm-hmm.
where, they had stores and stuff, little places where you could eat, little restaurants and stuff like that. So after practice, we shower, get dressed, we go grab lunch, we right back in the rooms, waiting for practice later on that evening. Boom, we do that, we get back. Then, the couple guys that did know English, they would come get us, they would take us out to bars and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it was nothing crazy. It was still in the town, in the area. So, that was the cool thing about it. Cause if they were talking about going, further away from the rooms and all that, I'm like,
yeah.
Nah, I'm cool. I'll get with y'all tomorrow type shit. Cause like, not knowing what's going on in that country at the time, it was just like, nah, I'd rather be in my room chilling out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that was that situation. Then we come to find out that at that time, like you said, political wise, there was some things that was going on as far as the government and the city officials and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
The president of Venezuela. So come to find out, around, I want to say January or February, the coach pulls us into his office and he lets us know that they're about to have a civil war in Venezuela. So he was like, you know, any Americans or anybody that's caught over here, you're stuck once they have this civil war. And there's no telling how long you will be stuck over there, when you could get back home or when you can get back to your country or whatever. So he was like, you know, they canceled the season that they were about to have. They canceled the season.
Okay.
And he was like, you know, they were going to fly everybody home. I was like, all right. I said, give me my ticket. I'm out. I said,
Oh yeah,
because
that's
I'm
right.
not, you know, I'm not trying to get stuck over here away from my family and not knowing what's going on and, you know, what's going to happen to me in the future. So I was like, I said, all right. I said, I'm out. So the next day, we get our ticket to fly out a day after. And that was the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
So once that happened, I was like, you know what, you know, maybe I'll be able to find, you know, somewhere else to go overseas.
Okay.
So when I got back, I so happened to link up with a USBL team because they had USBL teams back in the day.
Yeah, I remember those. Yes.
So I was able to get lucky and link up with the team out of Asbury, which was called the Shore Cats. So I did that for about 3 years. Played in Asbury for about 3 years. And again, a lot of those guys I already knew from the pro-ams on different teams, and a couple guys that were from the New York, Jersey area that were on the Shore Cats. So again, it was like I felt at home because I knew guys that I was playing with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything was comfortable for me throughout high school, all the way up to now playing semi-pro in Trenton, and now playing semi-pro in the USBL. So I did that for about 3 years. So now I'm probably around 28 at this point. 28 years old. So after a while, you know, things wasn't happening like I thought they should, or, you know, as fast as I thought they should. So now I'm starting to think of, you know, other things to do with my career, my life. You know, I got to make, you know, changes. I had a daughter. At that time, my daughter was 6 because she was born in 92. So she's 6. So now, you know, I'm going back and forth with, you know, 9 to 5 and still trying to play semi-pro. So I'm juggling both of those things at the time.
Okay.
And then, you know, and then it finally got to the time where I'm like, okay, well, I don't think the basketball thing is going to happen professionally like I think it should. So, you know, it was basically 80 to 90% of 9 to 5 and 20 to 15%, you know, just playing basketball now. It's a recreation thing now.
Nah, but I mean, just the joy of it. Obviously, you try to make a living out of it, but you know, certain reasons or circumstances, man, like you still to play for you, even just to be like, you just pretty much stopped playing for the most part 2-3 years ago. That just says something just for your love of the game and everything. I had a question, you know, just even with the JUCO route. I know nowadays, you know, what is it? You got to just be fresh 1 year after removed from high school to be in the pros here. But just the whole JUCO route, what would you say for somebody like that's following this trend? But what would you say about the whole JUCO thing as far as your thoughts as far as an athlete doing that, no matter what the sport is?
I think you have to. I don't want to knock JUCO at all, because my experience with it was phenomenal. I think you just have to be in the right situation.
Mhm.
I won't say just do it just to say, okay, I'm going to JUCO. You have to find the right school. You have to find the right coach, and you have to find if your love of playing this particular sport,
Mhm.
is it more to do that than being home and not doing the JUCO thing. Like you got to want to put yourself out there because you love this sport that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know where Vermont was
Mm-hmm.
at all.
Mm-hmm.
Then I found out, oh, it's up by Canada. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally an hour away from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I didn't let that bother me or deter me, because I wanted to play ball.
Right.
I wanted
Right.
to go to college that much.
Mm-hmm.
So, being 6 hours away from my family, that wasn't an issue for me. Because again, like I said, growing up through high school, I already was like on the individual, you
Mm-hmm.
know, adult thing, because I had the apartment.
Right. Right.
So I already had the skills of being on my own already. That
Mm-hmm.
wasn't something that I had to get once I got to college. It was already there. So by me leaving my family for 8 months, playing ball, going to school, coming home for two months, in the summer, that was fine with me. So for somebody that wants to pursue JUCO, pursue it, but make sure things are in place that you need, that'll help you.
Mm-hmm.
Some people I know had terrible experience with JUCO
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason it may be.
Right.
Maybe they didn't want to leave home or go as far as where the school was, and was shell shocked because of social differences and all of that thing. Whatever it may be, they had terrible experiences. But it happens. But if you can try to put yourself in the best position and do that, then go for it.
Yeah. No, well said. I mean, like, to your point, I mean, everybody's track and trajectory and everything else is different. But to your point, if things line up and that's the route, as far as to take it here. Now, the business of basketball, throughout your travels and journey there, like, what you learned about the business of it?
It's like anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a regular corporation.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you have to, once you get there and you're you're in a place where you have to perform the best you can.
Mm-hmm.
You have to put yourself in the best possible position to perform the best you can. And I learned later on that it's usually not a knock on that person, because sometimes things work out for you, and then things start to go a different way.
Okay.
So, like a regular business, if you're not performing like you should, then that business has to move on, because again, it's about the money.
Mm-hmm.
And for different businesses to keep afloat, they have to be putting themselves in the best position they can to keep that business running. And so I look at it like, for basketball players and going team to team or what have you, that you can't be so self-absorbed that you think, by you getting traded or going to another team, that it's all about you, because it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a lot of other bigger things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes
So,
sense.
and you gotta, when you're moving around or doing what have you, you just gotta do the best you can where you're at. That's all you can ask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but growing up, you don't know that. You don't learn that unless people talk to you about that. They let you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was something that we all had playing at Orange, under Hatari, under the players that he had on his team that were overseas or playing semi-pro. Like we all liked each other. So the old heads, when we were coming up, the old heads would always talk to us, after games and stuff like that. And we would always, pick their brains about, playing overseas and what's this about and what's that about. And they always, gave us that info. So it was like, I think to me, it seemed like we grew up faster as far as basketball situations and things of that nature, because we had the old heads always letting us know what was going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They
Nah,
always pass info and knowledge about anything basketball wise, because they saw that we was hungry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They saw that, we not just out there just BSing and showboating, and we was hungry. We wanted to win. And that was our main objective. We didn't care if somebody had 30 one night. We didn't care if somebody had 15, 20 rebounds one night. Like, as long as we won, we was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, definitely. Nah, I hear you. Well, sports and everything, what is giving you that sticks with you to this day, your day to day, if at all? Like, what is sports giving you?
Discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that translates into real life situations.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I credit Hatari for that. Like, Hatari was a big influence on my life growing up, basketball wise, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But as an individual and as a young man growing up, like I credit him probably, if not more than my family and my parents. He's right there.
Okay.
He's right there. Like, Hot is, man, if I would have ever made it big, I would owe everything to him as far as me getting to where I wanted to get.
Mm. Yeah.
Like, he instilled values. He definitely instilled, competition wise, that fire. But then off the court, he instilled compassion, like for your brothers, your sisters, or whatever. Like, anybody that you come in contact with, like, he just taught you life skills.
That's real.
So, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah. With that even being said, man, throw you on the spot a little bit before we part ways here. If you got a few more minutes for me.
Yep.
Yeah, some stuff totally random, but just have a little bit of fun on the back end here. Yeah. When you are obviously down in South Jersey, but Parkway to Turnpike, if you're up in the whip, what you prefer?
Turnpike.
Turnpike. Okay. We got sandwiches or Jimmy Buffs.
Ooh, I gotta go with Jimmy Buffs first.
And we are Orange guy. We talk Jimmy. Okay.
But the reason I'm saying that is because I grew up on 7th Street, 14th Ave. So Jimmy Buffs was right there.
Another joint. Yeah.
I grew up on Jimmy Buffs, and then when I moved to Orange is, Sandwiches Unlimited is right there now. So I wasn't going back down to Newark to get Jimmy Buffs no more.
Yeah. Nah, I hear you. I hear you. What you getting for Jimmy Buffs?
A double Italian hot dog.
Mm-hmm. Nah, that's what it is, man. Virginia or New Jersey?
As far as what?
However you want to. That's on you.
I gotta say Jersey first because I'm born here.
Okay. And I think you might have answered this too. OD or orange high?
I love Orange High, man.
Yeah.
I love Orange High.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of orange, the Air Forces and Nike Dunks.
Air Force.
Yeah, I know you and Mike did your thing with my thing was just had the one orange, one black joints. That was like your thing here. Yeah. I used to love that.
Yeah. Although I will say the dunks are there because again, being a Villanova fan growing up, Georgetown Hoyas, those are when I first saw the dunks with the two-tone colors.
Okay.
So I was like, damn, them joints is fly, because everybody else, just had regular joints. I'm like, yo, those are fly. So like you said, in high school, me and Mike, we would always go shopping for sneaks. And we would always buy two pair. We buy one color and then the other color. And we started that trend like, yo, we gonna wear mismatch joints all through the season.
Yeah, I remember fully, man. It's speaking of y'all copy our kicks. Y'all shoe spot, sneaker world, Foot Locker. I went downtown.
No, we was basically at Shoe Spot and Sneaker World. We stayed on Main Street. Every once in a while, we would go down to Dr. J's every now and then. But we basically stayed on Main Street.
Okay. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Bring a little more current with something random here. Power or BMF?
Power.
Okay. You remember the poster as far as dunking wise? I know you get sub. Do you remember anybody you just caught out to this day? You'd be like, you know what, I did catch him.
You know what? Yeah, in the pro-am, we're playing against one of the New York teams.
Okay.
And their front line was like 6'7", 6'8", 6'9".
Mm-hmm.
And we're playing in Orange High. This is when they moved it to Orange High. So we're inside the gym. And I think it might have been a playoff game. It was a heated game too. They beat us. But I was running the break on the left. And I think Smith might have outlet it to me on the left wing.
Okay.
So I get it. And the guy in front of me, I crossed him over. So now I'm about to take off to go down the lane. So the big guy comes over and we both jumped at the same time. And we take off. And I banged it on him. Boom! I got the and one. I made the free throw. And to this day, that's the dunk I remember to this day.
Everybody left the stands.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
it was
I could only imagine. Yeah, I could only imagine.
It was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
That's the one I definitely remember. I mean, I know I had a bunch of other ones, but that was the one that stood out in my mind. Over a 6'9" dude, and he's waiting on me.
Yeah, it made it even worse for him. Yeah. Yeah. Orange Park or Central Playground?
Central Playground. Yeah. They wouldn't let me play in Orange Park, man.
Nah,
I used to go down there and watch the games down there on Sunday mornings. They wouldn't let me play. Okay. And I live right up the street on Center Street. I used to walk down the hill to the park, and they would never let me play.
Too good, too young. What was it?
I guess it was because I was too young.
Okay. Now, when did you point in your life? Probably in high school. Maybe you just like, yo, I'm kind of nice at this.
I would probably say I was probably 10th grade.
Okay.
And that was the year I didn't play.
Yeah.
But just playing with Mike around the projects, Central Playground, playing with Mike, playing with Jamal Hilton, playing with Al, and then you know, like I said, we would go down Sabo and we would play on the B court.
Mm-hmm.
And once we started running that court, I was like, okay, this is,
Yeah.
I think I'm starting to fall in love with this.
Mhm. Yeah, nah, it's easy to, man. It's easy to. Best team, you've been on a lot of good teams. Best team you ever played on in your life?
Uh, I'm going to have to say the Nelson squad, the pro-am with Hatari.
Okay. Best.
Yeah, I can't deny that.
Who's on that squad? Some of
Lynn,
the people.
Lynn Smith, Darren Rowe, me, Mike Boyd, Marcus. I can't remember Marcus's name, but Marcus played overseas.
Mm-hmm.
He played overseas for mad years. Him, and then we had a couple big guys, you know, that were, you know, just normal big guys that I guess always played with Hatari.
Okay.
But the strength of our squad was me, Lynn, Mike, Marcus, and Darren Rowe. That was the lineup right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had a 3-guard, crazy 3-guard. Me,
Mm-hmm.
Mike, and Lynn. And we pushing all the time. We trapping, like we was going crazy. And then you had Marcus, who could score at any time he wanted to. He like 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Darren Rowe, who's like 6'8". He was a 3. So we basically had all guards on our squad to start.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that probably was the best team I ever played on.
Yeah. What's
talent-wise.
talent wise, I got you.
Yeah.
Best game you ever played in your life that sticks out? You might have had a bunch of. Is anyone that just sticks out that you played?
Oh, no, I got one.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't know it or might not have heard, but you know how the pro-am was hopping. It started at Elmwood, it left there, it went to Central, then it went to Orange,
Mm-hmm.
then it went to Scott.
Mm-hmm.
I scored 82 in the pro-am in Scott.
Ooh.
And that game was crazy because it went to 2 overtimes.
Okay.
And I think the scores was like 120 something to 130 something.
Yeah.
And we had 6 guys that showed up for that game.
Mm-hmm.
And we played against one of the teams from Newark.
Okay.
And I played on Sandy's team because he had a team in that pro-am, and I played for Sandy, the guy that runs the AAU.
Yeah, no, right. Right.
I played on his team, and we only had 6 guys there, and I had 82. And it was crazy because I knew it was going to be a good night because I was hitting threes, like the pro-am threes, and I'm a mid-range guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm either mid-range or I'm going to the rack.
Mm-hmm.
So once I hit a couple threes, I'm starting to look, I'm like, what? I said, oh, okay, is that night the night? Now I had no clue I had 82 by no means during the game. I just knew it was, 2 overtimes, and I'm like, dang. So we got the win. So we're because I think we were the last game, so we're about to leave, and it was 2 girls that were scorekeepers, but they went to Scott.
They might try to they ain't fudge your numbers. I'm surprised.
Yeah,
going to Scott.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing too, because they, I forget, the one girl name was Vicky something, and her best friend, like they grew up when Marquise was there.
Okay. So
Marquise knows who I'm talking about, but they were the scorekeepers, and so we're getting ready to leave. I'm walking by the score table, and I know him. I say hi to him, whatever. So the one girl, Vicky, was like, yo, you want to know how much you had tonight? And I was like, I said, nah, not really. I said, why? She was like, because you scored a lot. I was like, oh, all right. I said, well, how much I score? She was like, 82. I was like, yeah, right, get out of here. I was like, you joking. I said, but really, how much did I score? Because I knew I scored some points. I thought I had probably about 30, 35, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So when she was like, no, I'm dead serious. She was like, here go the score sheet.
Mm.
She gave it to me. And I'm sitting there, I'm counting. I'm like, oh, I really did have 82.
Nah, 82 is 82. I don't care where it's coming from.
Yo, the first thing I did, I got on my cell phone. I called back down here with dudes that I play with in the summer league out here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, because it's funny because I brought a couple of those guys up there to play in the Nelson, played on my team in the Nelson
Okay.
a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yo, I said, y'all never guess how many I scored tonight. And they was like, yeah, you probably had like 30, 40.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, nah, I said more than that. They was like, 50? I said I had 82. They was like, oh. So that's the most I can remember. I think the next highest may be like close to 40, maybe around 40.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah.
Yeah. Was your top five your all-time Orange Hot starting five? What would it be?
That I know I would have to say, and this is probably because I don't know too many older players.
Okay.
That was there. Of course, I know Rob Cole.
Okay.
I would have to say Rob Cole. I gotta say Mike. I gotta say Al. I gotta say me.
That's four.
I heard Greg Tines was a bad dude too.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now, solid five. Now, you best to come out of Orange?
Am I the best?
You best, sure.
No, I wouldn't say I was the best.
Mm-hmm.
I might say one of the best all around players.
Okay. Okay.
You know, I wouldn't say best talent wise because Rob Cole can score against anybody. Mike can score against anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Al can shoot against anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Can I add one more to that five?
Yeah, we got 6 man. Yeah, we got 6 man.
I would put Reggie Miller on there.
Reg, okay. Yeah. No.
Put Reg on there.
Yeah.
He was definitely one of my mentors too.
Okay. Nah, solid. Yeah, nah, that's solid. And then as far as someone who should have made it, just however you want to define made it, whether it's high school, college, pro, somebody who should have made it.
I would probably say Omar Cooper.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Omar Cooper.
Yeah.
Because he back then, you know, he had a game, but he had an old school game at that young age.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was like he knew how to play back then.
Mm-hmm.
Where guys were just basically running up and down. He knew how to play.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
nah. Oh, definitely good pick, and I'm sure obviously he wouldn't trade what he got going on with them kids of his right now for that.
Right.
Yeah, so no, he in a good spot, man. Them kids took care of that for him.
Yep.
Yeah. As far as you feel you got your just due?
Nah, I never feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because once I feel like that, then ain't no need of going forward.
Okay. Nah, I hear you.
I gotta have something. I gotta have something that pushes me each and every day. And to this day, and like I said, I just stopped playing 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I was playing in leagues down here, 30, unlimited, 30 and over, 40 and over.
Mm-hmm.
And so each time I go and step on the court, I feel that nobody give me my just due. So I got to prove it.
Okay. Yeah. As far as life here, what's up? 3 of the best moments of your life so far?
My daughter being born.
Yeah.
My career choice right now, being that, growing up, I always wanted to work with kids,
Okay.
underprivileged kids.
Yeah.
Being an underprivileged kid myself growing up, but knowing that, I try to help, as many people as I could, that I come in contact with on a day-to-day in and out basis. And I'm doing that to this day, working in a program with adolescents, troubled adolescents and things of that nature. So those two things, and pretty much having a healthy family around me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nah. Good choices. You wrote a book about yourself. What would you call it? Book about your life. What would you call it?
Underdog.
Underdog. Yeah.
The underdog.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, growing up, with moving around, moving to different places, going to different schools, not being settled in one specific place,
Mm-hmm.
you always had to prove yourself to people that didn't know you.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So I would have to say it would be titled The Underdog.
Yeah.
And I think I did a pretty good job of doing that. So, I got a lot of people that I would say, that are good people to me. I never really had anybody that I would consider didn't like me or hated me for whatever reason. I really never came into any encounter like that. So all the people that I've come across and they were in my life growing up to now, it's always been love.
Yeah. No, well said.
Been love.
Well said. What's the best part about being J-Rob?
You know what I think it is? Not having a lot of people know of you. Like I stay to myself, I stay to myself a lot.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So the people that do know me are people that I'm close with.
Yes.
And even when I go around, people that I don't know for whatever reason or whatever, I just sit back and I just watch. You know what I mean? I don't need a spotlight. I'm good with myself. So I don't need things from other people. I don't need to be, looked at as this type of person or whatever. I'm cool with myself. So as long as I feel good with myself, then everything else it falls in line.
Rest is gravy. Yeah.
It's gravy. It's all gravy.
Yeah. What advice would this J-Rob give that senior year 17, 18-year-old J-Rob? What advice would you give him?
Do it your way.
Yeah.
Do it your way. Don't do it because of somebody else. Don't do it because somebody else wants you to do something for them or just do what you feel happy in doing and make sure you feel good about yourself.
Nah, definitely. Nah. J-Rob, you don't know how honored I am to just even have this few minutes with you. I mean, I was in middle school, junior, senior. I was over at Orange Middle, but just to, you just had these superheroes. I mean, obviously it was you guys. You mentioned, you talked about Al and Mike throughout this. You had bunch of other people over there too. But just to see you guys, I'm leaving school. Maybe y'all posted over the slice of pizza from Romeo's. I don't know, but just you know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean. Yeah,
Oh
but
yeah.
just
We
yeah.
definitely hit Romeo's before we went in school in the morning.
But to see y'all just out there, just kind of like, wow, that's them, or whatever the case may be here. And then obviously to follow a little bit thereafter, the whole JUCO and Old Dominion route here. Regardless of all that, man, just to hear a little bit of your world just now, like I said, it's like, you know what? No wonder I was in all back then. It kind of just sums it up, you know what I mean? So I just say thank you just for little guys such as myself back then, and then even obviously the life that you have lived. I mean, that you know shared a little bit about. I appreciate everything, man, and I appreciate this time. You being officially you, I was just like somehow I got be officially me somewhere along this way here, man. So I salute you, and I just wanted to say thank you, man. I really want to say thank you.
No doubt, man. And I appreciate you, calling me, putting me on this platform.
Mm,
Again, everybody, growing up, everybody that I came in contact with or, what have you, to this day, I love and appreciate what they've done to me, whether it be something small to something humongous.
yes.
They'll never know it, but I know it, you
Mm,
know. So, I appreciate all that. And again, man, it's been a pleasure. It's an honor. And, any other time you want to do something like this again, man,
mhm.
just give me a shout out. I have no problem at all doing it, brother.
Appreciate it, and continue, be well, health, and everybody over there on your end, man. You guys be well.
Yes, sir. You too, brother.
All
Be
right, no
careful.
doubt, no doubt. Peace.
All right, bro.
All right. Yeah. So we back, just like I said, to seeing him out and about here, throwing his 1-2, man. But just to hear a little bit about his world and some of the ups and downs and his journey, like continues to add fuel to me, and hopefully whoever watching this, kind of can generate some thoughts of their own as well too. But with that said, I'm just gonna bounce on out of here. I put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.